These are the plaintiffs, Anthony and Donna DiCarlo. Anthony says the defendants agreed to buy their house, gave them a deposit, which was put into escrow, and then backed out of the deal. They waited for months for the defendants to get their mortgage approved, and then they had the nerve to back out on them? Some people. They're suing for $5,000, the amount they're owed. These are the defendants, Ronald Rosero and Iris Enriquez. Ronald says they wanted to buy the plaintiff's house all right, but they did work in the garage and built a pool and didn't file the proper paperwork, so the bank wouldn't give them a mortgage. The plaintiff said they'd get the proper certificate of occupancy. 5 months went by with nothing happening. They couldn't wait any longer, so backed out. Oh, them. Good one. They're accused of changing their minds. The defendants are filed a countersuit for $4,500. The amount of their money still tied up in escrow.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiffs say the defendants backed out of a deal to buy their house, but the defendants say the plaintiffs screwed up the deal. It's the case of pay up, homie.
Mr. DiCarlo and Ms. DiCarlo, you are suing Mr. Rosero and Ms. Enriquez for $5,000 in travel expenses plus a deposit that's in escrow right now for the sale of your home that you feel you are entitled to. You are counterclaiming that $4,500 because you want it to be returned back to you. Yes. All right. What happened?
Okay. We signed with a real estate on June 16th, a multiple listing, and my agent had called me and said that a real estate woman was going to come with a couple with children. They come to the house. They fell in love with it right then and there, and they went for the bank to get an approval.
Financing.
And they got approved, and we're waiting, and they told us in the document that the closing would be on or around September 4th.
Okay.
And we're waiting, and then they came back to us and said that he had deposited money that his wife had given him as a gift, and the bank questioned where it came from. So they put a little hold on that. So we said, okay, we're going to wait.
And so the closing could not occur on September 4th, and instead what?
And then he needed to show more money as a job, and they told us that he had to get a part-time job to show more income
in order to get the financing.
Correct.
All right, so the closing was postponed to what date?
There was no date at that point until he
Okay, so did you get the job?
Actually, I did overtime as they told me, and I did all that stuff.
And then you had to show that for a period of time?
Yeah.
So when did you get financing?
We reapply again for the loan, and then we start all over again from scratch. And
A different bank?
Yeah, a different bank with the same broker.
Okay.
So from then, the bank asked paperwork from his side, which is the town, the CO, and
Okay,
the
so
permits.
was another closing ever set or no?
No, because they need to get the permits before going forward.
Right, so once you got the financing, nobody set a closing date?
Nothing.
All right, so you get the financing when?
I believe it was a month later, 3 weeks, month later. We did right after.
Does that sound right? Like a couple weeks after the closing date?
I would think it was more like about 6 to 8 weeks later.
Okay, so 6 to 8 weeks later, they get the approval. And then what happened? Why am I here? What happened?
And then
How do you get this effect? I just can't keep looking at you and not say something about the beard. What is this effect? It's like a heart. I feel so loved while I'm watching you.
no, my wife, she likes to play with color, so.
Okay, it's like I'm looking at a heart. Do you ever do other colors? Do you do?
Blue and green for St. Patrick's, even though
God bless you.
I'm Italian.
All righty. Okay, that's out of the way. Go ahead.
Your Honor, we waited 3 times for them. We're waiting, and then all of a sudden, the lawyers said that being our house was built in 1920, the town is requiring to have a CO. We didn't need a CO when we purchased the house because of the age of the house.
When did you purchase it?
In 2001.
And then what, the law had changed in your town?
Correct, and nobody said anything until we're getting ready for this closing. And I faxed everything to my real estate agent who was going to do that paperwork for me in the town because we have now moved to South Carolina. So, Your Honor, so we were complying with the town, getting everything in order, and they said with the above-ground pool, it would take a little longer, 6 to 8 weeks. And then I got a email from my lawyer, from his lawyer, saying my client no longer wants to wait. Now, we were kind enough to wait a few times for them.
Here's what I don't understand. Typically speaking, when you postpone a closing, you reset another closing date. Are you both positive that there was no new closing date?
It was not that I know that they told me, but they told us to
because
wait.
Then all you have is two people
in.
without a closing date. Then what's the contract? See, the closing date gives you a cutoff point. When you just say, okay, let's not set a closing date and let's just chat and let's just see what's going on, then both of you could have walked away. You could walk away because you found a different buyer who gave more money and you have no protection.
That's what I did.
Or you could walk away because he didn't like that you didn't have a CO.
Right.
Let me see all the emails from the lawyers and all that. Do you have that? Like something there you said? How long, just out of curiosity, did you give them to get their CO issues done?
Yeah, I did. It's about like 6 months to wait for the CO.
No,
for the CO.
How long did you give them before you said I want out?
We did it in February. That's when I told the lawyer that I can't wait no longer.
And you had financing in October?
Yeah, we waited all that time.
Okay, is that statement accurate, that they waited from the October financing date where they were ready to go till October, November, December, January, and February?
December 30th is when they wanted
Let me see the correspondence.
to go out.
Let me ask you a question. In October, when it was brought to your attention that you needed a CO, tell me exactly what you did to get it.
It wasn't in October that they brought it to our attention.
When was it brought to your attention?
It was in somewhere in December, December 13th.
Let me see that email.
That should be it.
When, according to you, did the CO issue come up?
Right after, because in the process of the
Prove
loan.
it. Prove what you're saying. When did you pull out?
In February of this
According to
year.
you, you pulled out in February.
That's when I talked to
But
my
I see
lawyer and tell
emails in
him-
December where your lawyer, January 2nd, where your lawyer's telling them, my client wants to pull out. That's when you pulled
We
out.
would go back and forth saying that he's going to get this CO. I said, okay, we're going to wait. I'm going to wait.
Where does it say, okay, we're going to wait? Show me those emails. Listen, you know you had a lawyer, right?
Yeah, I do. I have
Okay,
some
so do you
emails
have
in
anything
there.
from your lawyer?
The emails that I just handed to him.
This back here? I can't read that. That's in like 2-point font.
That's what I
I
got.
need a magnifying glass. Do we have a magnifying glass here? A court's in recess. Bring me everything that's here. I got to end up making sense of.
So if somebody misses the deadline of the contract, can you automatically say it's over, or do you have to give them a little bit of time to correct?
No, the contract is binding. So as soon as the
So
contract,
that day, boom, it's over.
that day's gone.
You buy that?
Yeah, you need to be a man of your word. So if you can't be a man of your word, then it's just not going to happen.
What about leeway? What about like a day or two? I mean, if they say, look, I'll get it done, I'm sorry something happened. Good enough?
Well, if they had a reasonable excuse.
But legally, does the person have to say okay, or can he say, it's over?
I think he can say it's over.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
So I have a few more questions that I wanted to ask you folks, I guess. I see emails from your lawyer to their lawyer saying, my clients want out as early as December 13th. And then on December 30th, you're telling your lawyer, I don't want to buy the house. So in December, according to your lawyer and you, the bank is asking for a CO. And 2 weeks later, you bail.
I did wait the time.
You claim you waited 3 or 4 months. That is absolutely not true. But it doesn't matter because I don't really have to know your motivation. I have to see what happened, and I have to decide who gets that $4,500. Because that's what we're all arguing about. There's that $4,500 deposit that you put down in escrow, and your lawyer can't just give it away to his client. The lawyer goes, you make a decision, Judge, and that's what's going to happen now. And I want to go over step by step how it is that I'm making that decision. You put the deposit down. You have a closing on or about. On or about means on or about September 14th. So that date comes up and goes past us because you don't have financing. The problem is there was no other closing scheduled. If you want them to be in violation, then you set a closing that they can't meet. They can't get the CO then, boom, you get your $4,500. As it stands now, the people who breached are you guys. Because the only way they can breach is to not have a CO at the closing date. And there was no closing scheduled by you guys. Therefore, I am entering an order that states that the $4,500 goes to the plaintiffs. That's my verdict.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so the judge has finally ruled in this case. Here, step in a little bit closer, and what's your understanding of the outcome here, and what's your feeling on this?
I blame the lawyer for not doing a closing date for us, so I can bridge, because it wasn't like, I didn't know all the process, exactly how it was. So
Yeah. You blame the lawyer.
Yeah.
All right, your documents await you right around the corner this way. Let's see what the plaintiff has to say now. Coming out here. There he is. All right, your feeling on this verdict here from your side?
I think the judge made the right decision. I mean, I feel bad for these people, but it just dragged. They dragged us and dragged us and dragged us. We were giving them a car. He didn't have a car. We left everything in that house for those people. It's sad. It's just, you know, they were a nice couple. They had kids. They enjoyed seeing the pool. It's just, it's sad.
I can't stop looking at his beard.
It looks like a heart, and he loves you.
Thank you. Harvey?
Okay, here's a tip. If you have a contract where the date really matters to you, write these magic words in the contract. I'm telling you, they're magic words. Time is of the essence. It means something legally, and it means if they don't get it done by that date, you probably do have a right to say, I'm out.